we're going to talk about shifting our own consciousness, because the truth of the matter is, anytime that we decide to engage in some kind of spiritual practice, that's what we're trying to do. You know, Ernest Holmes, to quote him very poorly, reminds us somewhere, and I think this is in Essential Ernest Holmes, those of you who have been in that class will know, he talks about the fact that when we pray, we aren't trying to change God, we're trying to change ourselves. It isn't about beseeching, begging, pleading, bargaining, all of those things that many of us still we do. We do them with each other, and we do them with the divine, okay? Or we get to that point. Sometimes I know I do. But it's about really recognizing that, you know, what we desire is of the Father. That desire, that sheer impetus for that idea to come into our minds came from God in the first place, came from the divine. So if we want it, and we know that it's a possibility, all we have to do is shift consciousness. Ernest Holmes also told us in some of his writings that there is nothing to be healed, only truth to be revealed. Well, that's a pretty lofty statement. It's hard to look at a negative checkbook balance and go, there's nothing to be healed, only truth to be revealed. It's hard to look at your body if it's not well, if it's feeling sick, and think there's only truth to be revealed. But Ernest taught a difference between what we might term fact and what is truly a spiritual truth. A fact might be that there's a vehicle sitting on the side of the road that isn't operable, and I'm sitting in it, and of my own resources, my own physical strength and skill set, I can't make that vehicle run. That's a fact, okay? If my car isn't running, if I'm stuck on the side of the road, that's just a kind of like a hardcore informed, and you can hyphen that word. It doesn't really mean information, it means into form, at the level of form experience, okay? It's a reality, isn't it? But what is a different truth? That we're not even sitting there, right? Yeah, what we really are is so much bigger and wider and clearer than that, that is just one pinprick on the whole, if you will, cosmos, terrain of cosmos that is there. That situation might be quite a mess. It would be for me. I don't know about you guys, but you know, the last time I had a broken down car, I was in Fontana. This was a 1993 Honda Accord that had 183,000 miles on it, and I had driven them all. Mostly for work, for one job or another. And when it decided to not run anymore that day, I really didn't know what to do. Somehow I got a message to the people that I worked with in Webster. And one of them was married to a state cop. And she was so worried about me sitting on the side of the road that she sent her husband in the cop car to sit with me. And of course he got on his radio and got a flatbed thing to come get the car. I don't know if he realized how intoxicated the owner of the flatbed was. I was not real happy about the matter. The guy was about, I don't know, 65 or 70, and quite pickled. I think that was, I really think he was like of the drinking nature to the degree where he truly was a pickled individual. He looked pickled, he smelled pickled. He acted a little pickled, okay. He drove okay. I noticed that he handled that rig with me in it and my car in the back okay. I still wonder about that cop, and if he knew, did he not realize? Because surely, they know a lot. They know the places to call. And I had said, please call a place that can give me a rental car, because it's me. I don't have another vehicle. There ain't another family member that lives with me that can help me. I don't have another vehicle at my beck and call, and I gotta have a vehicle. I just can't, I can't do a whole lot without it, That was my story from the last time I got left on the side of the road, and it was a mess, okay? And the truth of the matter is, it all worked out exactly the way it was supposed to, It was actually really perfect, okay? Very often we get what we expect, and if what we walk into it is, if we have an expectation, of, oh God, here I am, sitting on the side of the road again. Poor me. God's out to get me. I don't believe this happened again with this stupid truck. Here I was trying to do something, trying to accomplish something. You know, we have that kind of an attitude. We basically get married to no, I'm not going to accept this. No, it's not okay. No, 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 no. What age do you think we're functioning at, Ben? 5. Yeah, I don't know. Most 5-year-olds, I hope they're beyond that. You know, and the terrible twos, I have to say this, that's really a terrible thing that we do to christen them the terrible twos. When my last child was 2, we told her she was terrific all the time. Even when she was laying down in the back of the grocery cart, flailing and screaming and snotting all over Walmart because she couldn't have what she wanted. I'm like, terrific. You're just terrific. You're terrific. I love it. Okay. I love my ex-husband who taught me how to be that, you know, that way in the face of her childness. Okay. But we recognize that we have choice, that we can throw a fit, okay, and get it all over ourselves and everyone else and express that out into the universe, or we can go, well, wait a minute, just like Will did. What else is possible? What might could happen here that would change this situation? We separate ourselves and step away from the fact, okay, and we embrace what Ernest knew as the truth, which is that I'm not 29, you knew that, and I'm not female, and I don't live in Western North Carolina. I'm a cosmic being just like you are, okay? Spiritual in nature, came from the divine image and likeness of God, who is capable of moving mountains when she aligns with that power, when she marries truth instead of condition, instead of fact. But I know a lot of us, you know, we come from families where that kind of mentality of poor little me, God's out to get me, it's almost like a genetic, you know, overshadowing, you know, it's like the oversoul of our biological families. Anybody in here like that? Yeah. I know. But you know what? I don't buy that anymore. I used to think that thing was genetic. I know some of us got taught it at a very early age, but the reality of it is, with the science of epigenetics, they are teaching that our thoughts control our genes. It's not the other way around. So go look that one up, epigenetics. It's really incredible. The next time you go to the doctor and they ask you 52,000 questions about your family, tell them, but the truth is, I have the genes of God. Okay. Yeah. But when we get in that place, you know, we really are imprisoned. We really are prisoners in our own little mind, aren't we? Isn't that amazing? Who do you think has the key? Yes, we all do. Isn't it wonderful? I have my key, you have your key, you have your key. We've all got our own keys. And we do it through the power of thought. When we step up and recognize that that is not the only choice that we have. That like Will Bowen, we can go, well, what's out there? Oh, there's a house down there. Maybe somebody there can help. If nothing else, they'll have a phone. Okay? You know, it's amazing what we go through as human beings. Yesterday I was honored to be a part of a memorial service for a woman who passed at 99. She came to Cherokee in 1937 at the age of 22 years of age. And her train ticket said Elah, North Carolina. And when the train stopped in Elah around dusk that day, the conductor said, Miss Butler, please don't get off here. There hasn't been a train station in Elah for at least 5 years. You are a young woman. I don't feel right letting you leave. Let me take you to Dillsboro. And she said, no, sir, no way. My ticket says Elah. I was given a ticket for Elah. I'm getting off in Elah. So she got off in the middle of Elah, and what was there was a cornfield. Okay? Nothing but cornfield. And so the story that she later told her children was that she took off her nylons and she rolled them up because she only had one good pair. And by the way, the school, the college, the 2-year college she had just graduated from, she had one dress and one pair of nylons. And every night she washed them out, and every morning she put them on again, clean, ready to go for the day. Okay? What if we did that with our attitudes? Wow. Okay. Wouldn't that be amazing? But she was dumped in this cornfield, and she looked around, and she realized that there was nothing there. And although she did see a house, I guess, was the story. So she went to that house, and the man said she figured that she could use the phone there. And the man said, "Oh, I don't have a phone. The nearest phone is at the house across the river. See, it's almost a mile." And she said, "I can't cross that river. I'm terrified of water. I don't know how to swim." And so he took her. I guess he had a little rowboat or something. He took her to the phone. They went to the house with the telephone. And what they found out was that the switchboard operator in Cherokee or Bryson City got off work at 4:30 in the afternoon. And they closed the switchboard. So she found herself homeless, basically, no place to go for the night. Well, the man who had the phone said, "But wait a minute, I know one of the officials in Cherokee, and I know he is in fact actually expecting you. You're getting the job as his new clerk." And she said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, you stay here with me. We'll go in there tomorrow. I'll take you. I'll make sure you get there. You'll be safe." She had a consciousness of knowing that on some level it was all going to work out. The 2 guys who were supposed to pick her up in Elah had gotten the business vehicle for the day. They thought they were supposed to pick her up in Dillsboro, and when she didn't get off the train there, they went to the movies. Because they never got the car and got away from the office. That just never happened, Probably 3 vehicles in the whole of Swain County then, who knows. But what we have to do is open to a greater consciousness to get ourselves out of that place of no and realize that we have the capacity to change things. I love this. Neil Donald Walsh tells us that life begins at the end of our comfort zone. If you are running around in your life in your comfort, good luck. Okay? Because the universe, I don't believe, will let us live there. I believe that we are meant to grow. I believe that we are meant to evolve. I believe that there is absolutely no limit. When I look back at my life, I go, who did all that? I didn't do that. Do you do that? You look at your life and go, I don't know how that happened in my life. That was amazing. Something inspired me. You know that word, don't you? You know what it means. It means to bring in God. Inspiration means to essentially breathe in, to take into our beingness God stuff. Yeah. So if you're in your comfort zone, get out of it. Stick around and I will help. We begin to realize that it is through the inner act of letting go and opening up to a greater possibility that we can change our consciousness. Louise Hay, the great metaphysician, tells us that we are always at a point of power, every single moment. It's really amazing to me. I can work all day and go real hard and go home and just be thinking, okay, me and that recliner, honey, and it's a done deal. This one is over. And pick up something that inspires me. See something or talk to one of you and have an experience where I am washed clean and go, wow, I could work for another 10 or 12 hours. When I go home from classes on Wednesday night, I like giving up trying to go to bed. It just doesn't happen because I am so excited by the truth of who we are as human beings, as spiritual beings, that I'm just, ecstatic. I can't sleep. I don't know that we're meant to. In fact, I'm becoming to believe that maybe the truth is what some of them say, that we're really physically we need very little sleep and very little food. And that we can do and go and be, almost into infinity if we totally embody that spiritual stuff that we are, if we totally embrace it. We use the spiritual tools of the trade, prayer, and other things, and we evolve. We begin to recognize that Jesus the Christ wasn't just hearing himself talk when he said, "These things and more shall ye do." I'm talking about you. We begin to recognize that as we align with a greater will, a higher consciousness, when we release that no and allow things to shift, no matter how attached we may be to it. And I want you to know, before coffee in the morning, I am attached to no. Okay? There is no one who is more firmly, entrenched in no, especially if I had to get up because of a clock. Okay? I believe if there was such a thing as the devil or a demon, yeah, okay? That would be the personification of the clock going off when I do not want to get up. Okay? That consciousness before coffee, but it's really actually before coffee and cat. Okay, because, I have one that comes and he sits right here. And now he weighs 10 pounds. I'm concerned about how we're going to do this when he weighs 20, because he's going to, I think. But when he comes and he sits right here, it's like everything is better. Everything is different. Of course, I have coffee, too. That helps. So, but what happens is, after a while, we begin to recognize that I'm not alone on this journey. Not only do I have to not live in no, but I don't have to do it all myself. I can turn it over to that manager, to that divine wisdom that lives and moves and is always present. It hears everything. It knows everything. What was that saying in the Bible? I knew you before you were born. Okay? Yeah. It didn't just mean maybe. I knew you before you walked. I knew you before you breathed. I know what you want. I know who you are. And I know how to make that walk and work for you. How powerful is that? Years ago, this is like a long time ago, my ex-husband and I were married. Well, obviously, because he's my ex-husband, we had to have been married. But we had a dog. The dog's name was Pooh Bear. He was a great guy. He was about 100-pound, part Rottweiler, part Black Lab. And he was just a big old sweetie, except around other animals. And then he was mayhem and chaos, okay, with fur. Well, one day he figured out how to get out, and he went next door. And Buddy, the dog over there, was tied up with about a foot of rope, okay? And Pooh Bear realized he had his chance, and he took full owning of it, full ownership of it, and he began to beat the tar out of Buddy, okay? So, the people that I lived next to then were getting ready to inherit the Sylva Herald newspaper. They knew that they had a point of power in this little town of ours. So they got a law passed. This is the truth, okay? This is, as far as truths go, this is what happened. A law that was this long, okay? And basically had me cited for everything they possibly could. I didn't get arrested, but we did get taken to court. And at the time, my ex-husband, who looked like a normal person then, a lot of you saw him back in September. He has hair down to here now. But he was clean-shaven then, and he looked like an attorney when he put on a suit and carried a briefcase. He really looked like an upstanding human being. And he is an upstanding human being. He's a wonderful person. But he dutied himself all up, and we went to court. I was freaking out. I was at that point where I was not sleeping. I was not eating. I was wondering where in the Jackson County, the old courthouse up there, that they take you after court when they're going to put you in prison forever. Okay? Because that's where my mind went. And somebody finally said, so you're going to court? And I said, yeah. And they said, you got to go to the courthouse, right? And I said, oh, yeah. That's really bad. I'm freaking out, Can you tell? And they said, so God is going to drop you at the bottom of the courthouse steps. God is just going to leave your silly little white self, pardon my expression, to any kind of color, okay? God's just going to drop you and leave you right there. That's it. After having 29, 39, 30-something years. Well, I was 29 then, too. I'm still 29, okay? And something opened up in me. It was like, wait a minute. No matter what happens in that courtroom, I'm not going to be alone. And then I had another incredible epiphany. I was like, maybe they don't imprison, like, moms, people who have children in their homes, because their dog went over and bit somebody else's dog. Like, maybe not, okay? Yeah, reality dawned on me. It was incredible. But I began to realize that, I don't have to live in that fearful, I'm being done to. What if they come and take my home? What if they come and take my money? What if they come and take my dog? What if they come and take my kids? I'm being done to. God has had to get me kind of mentality. And things began to shift. Now, the truth is, I don't know anybody who's done that any better than Martin Luther King Jr. You know, during his, and it was about 12 and a half years of his life, that he was really front and center civil rights movement. Okay? He was making a presence in this country and all across the world. Okay? It wasn't very long before, you know, he obviously did it well because somebody had to take him out. Okay? You know? I kind of believe that about presidents too. A lot of them, they go after the first 4 years if they're really good. Sometimes it's amazing how that happens. I think they just realize they're fighting a crazy battle and they don't want to do that to themselves anymore. King, during his 12 and a half years as a civil rights movement leader, was arrested approximately 30 times. How easy would it have been for him to sit in a jail cell yet again, probably getting smacked around by a bunch of cops yet again, okay, and think, damn it, it's being done to me. But he absolutely refused to buy that. He refused to buy that as a reality in his own mind, and he refused to buy that as a reality for the African American people, okay? He said, no, we're not victims. We will not allow ourselves to be put in a position where it looks like we are, because we know better than that. He knew that every person was a presence of God. He got that. And he absolutely refused to buy that consciousness. So we choose to move our awareness from a place of tunnel vision. And you know, he probably sat there in the dark of night and just thought, what am I doing here? What am I doing here, God? You've got the map. I don't know what's happening. You make it right. How many of us have done that? Every morning before coffee, right? Yeah, that's my world, okay? I'm loving it. When we go from that place of being simply a mere worm to opening to the full-fledged beauty of God consciousness. I don't know anything else that could create, this is called a snake moth or snake butterfly. And I got to look at it, it really does look like a snake, doesn't it? He's cool. Yeah. He's not that pretty when he starts out, you know, he shuts down, he's a worm, and then he starts spinning gooky, sticky. If you ever grabbed hold of one of those things about half formed, they're nasty, okay? You don't want that on your, yeah, right, yuck, okay? Even cats don't want to mess with that, so, right? But we can do this. We can go from no to go to okay, to it's going to be all right. I don't know how, I don't know the way. I don't need to know, okay? I just know that if I get up and suit up and show up, the universe will go yes. But you know, we can do that. We can do it in 60 seconds. Some of us have taken 60 years, okay? I'm trying, okay? We can do it in 60 minutes. We can do it sitting with a meditation group this afternoon or showing up here on Sunday morning in 60 minutes. We can go from no to go in 60. It's always our choice, and it's always ours to do. So let us just do that. Let us open to a possibility of yes. Let us say, I can, and I will, and I am, and know it. I love you guys. Thank you.